Welcome back everyone to Formula 1 2020, round 4 of the season, the British Grand Prix, the first of two back-to-back races here at Silverstone. It's an awesome circuit, it's one of my absolute favourites, and I'm sure both races starting this weekend are going to be absolute bangers. The season so far, it's been chaotic, it's been carnage, but we finally got underway 3 weeks ago. Two Austrian Grand Prix, a Hungarian Grand Prix last time out, and the rest of your calendars had a bit of a shake-up this week. More news on that later on in the newsroom. But this week is the first of 3 races in a row. The British Grand Prix, the 70th anniversary Grand Prix, and the Spanish Grand Prix on the 16th of August. Last season here at Silverstone, it was Valtteri Bottas who took pole position, with Lewis Hamilton joining him on the front row of the grid. Charles Leclerc managed to get third in qualifying and third in the race, but come race day, Hamilton was able to overcome Bottas through a great pit stop strategy and some very nice safety car timing. Can Bottas redeem himself this season? And last time out, Max Verstappen couldn't quite challenge the Mercedes after making contact with the barriers before we even got underway. Hamilton took his second victory of the season, Valtteri Bottas joining him on the podium. And after that Hungarian Grand Prix, this is how your drivers' standings looks. Lewis Hamilton has a now little lead over Valtteri Bottas, 63 points for the British driver, Valtteri on 58, still all to play for in the championship. Max Verstappen, 2 podiums in a row now, moves up to 3rd place, dropping Lando Norris down to 4th, but still ahead of Alex Albon in the Red Bull. Both racing points are in the top 10, both Ferraris are in the top 10, and both McLarens are in the top 10 as well. Your bottom half looks like this, with Ricciardo on 8 points, just in front of Gasly and teammate Esteban Ocon. Raikkonen, Latifi, Grosjean and Russell all yet to score. And your constructors table looks like this. Mercedes running away with it at the moment, ladies and gents. 121 points. Their closest challenger on less than half that, 55 for Red Bull Racing. Haas scored their first point of the season last time in Hungary. Williams, the only team yet to score. Formula 2 standings looks like this, and they too also have a bit of a runaway leader. Robert Schwartzman claiming his second feature race win last time out, 81 points over fellow Ferrari junior Callum Ilott. Your tyre choice this weekend, a little bit more conservative, C1s for the hard, C2 for the medium and C3 for the soft. They will be changing to a slightly softer variant next weekend for the second British Grand Prix. And your weather, very little chance of rain this time out. We've kind of got used to expected rain, but here in Britain, slightly surprisingly, it looks like it's sun, with a 16, 25 and 8% chance of rain respectively over the weekend. Right, shall we crack on with the show? Let's start off with a hot lap for the British Grand Prix. Welcome everyone to your hot lap for the Formula 1 2020 British Grand Prix. Heading on to the start straight, the brand new complex with a hotel on the left hand side, but into the first right hander, a lovely sweeping section, turns 1 and 2 almost flat out into turn 3, a nice tight right hander. Cars bunching up a little bit here because for turn 4 we then open out onto the Wellington straight, the first of 2 DRS zones on the circuit this season. And down the Wellington straight, this is a perfect opportunity for overtakes, because when we get to the end of the straight we get to Woodcote and Luffield, a brilliant opportunity for our side to side battles. Alonso, Vettel, last year Hamilton and Bottas, and even if you can't make the overtake like we saw with Bottas last year, as we come now onto national pit straight, opportunities galore. Through Copse, flat out once again, heading now towards the best complex of corners on the circuit. Maggots, Beckett's, then through Chapel, completely flat out in modern Formula 1 cars. Maybe a slight lift if we're not on qualifying day, and then we go up the hill, the hanger straight towards Stowe, our second DRS zone, another awesome opportunity for overtaking. Through Stowe we go now, the tight right hander that opens up on the outside. Only 2 corners to go now, again very tight left, tight right through club, making sure you don't make any mistakes in qualifying through the final corner, and that is your lap of the 2020 British Grand Prix. Heading over now to the newsroom, a quiet week in terms of quantity of Formula 1 news, but the quality of our first story is incredible. We've been waiting a long time to find out how many races we're going to have in 2020, even if we're going to be able to reach the 8 races mark, the 10 races mark. And not only, last time out, we discussed we're going to Mugello, and also the Russian Grand Prix is returning for 2020. This week, we found out the news. We will be returning to not one, but 2 classic Formula 1 circuits, and sprinkle in a brand new Portuguese one as well. Very, very spicy indeed. Imola will make its Formula 1 return for the first time since the mid-2000s. A circuit which is going to be difficult to overtake, but a circuit I have never ever watched a Grand Prix for. I'm very, very excited. One I have seen a race for is the Nürburgring in Germany. The GP circuit should be a lot of fun. And the third one, Portimao, depending on how you want to pronounce it. What a circuit that's going to be. The elevation changes across the track. Pictures really can't do it justice. McLaren this week have had a huge announcement. They're teaming up with Gulf, the fuel suppliers. Now, it sounds very, very basic, but Gulf are a huge, huge name in the world of motorsport, and especially motorsport sponsorship. And there are lots of question marks on whether this could mean a brand new papaya orange and baby blue livery for the 2021 season. Would you like to see that? Let me know in the comment section down below. I think Danny Rick could rock a papaya and baby blue. And the final bit of news for today's video, nothing too crazy, but Alex Albon, an up and down start to the season, but looking to get his rhythm together now in the next 2 weekends at what is technically his home Grand Prix. Anyway, he's got a brand new race engineer this time out, Simon Rennie, who used to be Daniel Ricciardo's race engineer at Red Bull. Will that be able to make a little difference to help give Alex that little bit of confidence and push him forward to score that first podium here in Silverstone? And talking about predictions and podiums, it's my favourite bit of the preview, probably my favourite bit of the weekend. It's prediction time, qualifying predictions and race predictions, and of course, after I give you mine, I will give you your grid, and my favourite predictions, or the most liked predictions that you guys put in the comments, will be featured in tomorrow's video. But here are mine, and I've gone a little bit out there with a Lewis Hamilton pole position, Valtteri Bottas on the front row, but Alex Albon to out-qualify Max Verstappen for the first time in 2020 in 3rd place. I've also gone with a 3rd place for Alex Albon in the Grand Prix, 4th for Max Verstappen and 5th for Sergio Perez. But I've gone with a Valtteri Bottas win, try and reignite that fire for that bit of a championship challenge. I know it's a little bit bold, I know it's a bit out there, but he did well here last season. And I just think if he can get that extra win, it just puts that a little bit more pressure on Hamilton and keeps that championship going a little bit longer. But yeah, I know it's a brave one saying Hamilton will be beat by his teammate at Silverstone. And here is your grid if you want to play along in the comment section down below. Pole position, front row, and your biggest shock from qualifying. That could be a team, that could be a driver, that could be absolutely whatever. And in the race, who is going to win the 2020 British Grand Prix? Who's going to be on the podium? Your first retirement, driver of the day, and best of the rest. And before we go, Fantasy League time. I don't want to big myself up too much, but we've gone from 3,000th position, that's a mouthful, a couple of weeks ago, but now in the top 1,550, so we're getting there, ladies and gents. The team is sorting itself out. 99.1 million, no changes this week, sticking with Mercedes, Hamilton, Norris, the 2 Tracing Points, which is basically Mercedes, and Grosjean for the Grosjean army. And finally, your schedule this weekend, screenshot time is now. Not many changes this week. Saturday and Sunday format stays the exact same as all 3 of the races so far this year, but the Friday format a little bit different, all an hour later. 11 o'clock practice 1, 3 o'clock practice 2, and 5 o'clock for Formula 2 qualifying. And that is your lot here for the preview. I'm so looking forward to this one. It's been a week away from Formula 1, but now it's 3 in a row, and the British Grand Prix for the last several years has been one of the best of the season. I'm sure it will live up to that once again this year. Thank you all very much for watching. If you are new around here, feel free to subscribe, like if you did enjoy it, really helps out the channel, and I hope to see you all in the next one.